Ever been stuck on a piece of code, staring at your screen, wishing you could just tell your computer what to do, what you want, and have it appear? What if you could skip the frustrating boilerplate and hunt for the one missing semicolon and just focus on the big picture, the architecture, the vibe? Well, welcome to the era of vibe coding. Welcome back to NIIT. Let's explore this wild new phenomenon where developers are just using powerful AI language models to write, debug, and even architect entire applications, often with just a few well-crafted prompts. You're no longer a coder, you're a conductor, and the AI is your orchestra. But is it just a lazy shortcut, or is it the next evolution of software development? In this video, we're going to break it all down. Let's look at what vibe coding really is, and then we'll explore some tools that are making it possible, from conversational AI, as you already know, to tools that build entire apps from a single sentence. Stick around because you're about to see how your workflow might be about to change forever. Alright, let's start with the tools you've probably already played with and have open in your other tabs, the big conversational LLMs. I'm talking about ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, and Anthropic's Claude. These are the entry point for most people into vibe coding. You treat them like super smart junior developers that you can talk to. Let's see it in action. Here I have Claude open. Say I want to build a simple weather app using a React component. Now, I don't want to write all of the fetch calls and the state management from scratch. So here in Claude, I'm just going to write my prompt to create a simple React component that fetches the weather for any given city from the Open Weather Map API. I wanted to use the functional components with hooks and include a loading state and an error state. Let's see what this does. And boom, look at this. And it's not just code, it's clean code. It uses all of the right things. A use state that we had mentioned before. It's handling the errors. There's a city name here that we can input, and it also highlights that the place where we need to replace our API keyword. So the best part about this is that it also gives you a preview in the form of this artifact that loads here. Now you could look at the code itself. We have all of our use states right here. The API call that would go to this key. And it's basically done. But say I don't like the way this looks. I say, hey, can the button be red in color? Now, instead of going into the code and changing it on my own, I could just make the AI do it for me. And there it is, the button is now red in color. Now we'll take a look at some browser-based AI app builders. Okay, so conversational AIs are great for snippets, but now that we want to build an entire user interface from a single idea, a single prompt, that's where our next category comes in. Browser-based AI app builders. Now, there are a bunch of tools for this. We have V0 by Vercel, there is Replit, there's also Lovable. So let's take a look at a demo of V0. These tools are mind-blowing. They're designed to take high-level descriptions and generate fully functional front-end components or even a whole app. Let's look at this. So the interface is a prompt box. Here we describe what we wanted to build. Let's go for this. A pricing page for a SaaS product with 3 tiers: free, Pro, and Enterprise. The Pro tier should be highlighted as the most popular. So first it starts out by thinking on what it has to do. Now we wait and watch for the magic to happen. In seconds, it has created a fully realized, beautifully designed page. It's built with React and Tailwind. The code is right here on the side, and it shows us a preview of what it looks like. Now I can ask it to make any changes, to make the buttons purple or add a toggle for annual billing, say, or I can just copy the code and drop it into my project. This isn't just generating code, it's generating a product. For rapid prototyping and building UIs, this is a game changer. The vibe here is instant gratification. So far, we've been working outside our code editor, but the real flow state of vibe coding happens when the AI is right there with you inside your IDE. This is the third category, AI code editors. The most famous one is GitHub Copilot, which lives inside VS Code, one of the most oldest code editors and one of the most popular ones. But today I want to show you an editor that was built from the ground up. Cursor, the AI first editor. Cursor looks and feels exactly like VS Code because it's built on top of it, but it's supercharged with AI. There's inline code generation, a conversational chat. There's also an ability for it to write the code for you using the agentic mode. And there's also the ability to understand a code base much easier. Let's take a look at Cursor. So here in Cursor, we mainly have the main section where we write our code, and this sidebar on the right where we can have a chat with any of the LLMs that we want to. Let's first take a look at the inline code generation. So if we press Ctrl K, we can test this feature out. Let's give, say, a function to calculate the factorial of a number. And there, it has generated the code for us. Now we can either choose to keep this piece of code or to undo it. So let's keep this piece of code. Another way to do it is we can also highlight this and say use a while instead of a for. And there it suggests changes, and now it has used a while loop instead of a for loop. So refactoring using that highlight makes it more easier. So we can also understand what this piece of code is doing, or say any part of our code base. So let's ask it, what does this piece of code do? Explain it line by line. And it reads the file that we're currently on and gives a very nice explanation of the code line by line. So based on the Python syntax, it tells us how we have defined the function, what the doc string is saying, and each piece of information on every line has been explained to us. So you can also potentially chat with your entire code base. You can maybe ask it, where is the API key defined in a particular project? Or find potential bugs in this file, and have the AI understand the file first and help you understand it. This is the most integrated form of vibe coding. The AI isn't a separate tool, it's your pair programmer, constantly available, deeply integrated, and ready to help you write, debug, and refactor at the speed of thought. Now, let's also take a look at something for the most hardcore type of programmers, the ones who live in their terminal. There are also AI command line interfaces, or CLIs. There's Gemini CLI by Google, OpenAI's Codex, and Claude Code. These are all command line interfaces. Sometimes you don't need a full-blown component or a complex algorithm. You just need a quick script. Tools like the Gemini CLI are perfect for this. So here I am in my terminal. I have Gemini CLI installed. So I could maybe say write a bash script to find all files larger than 100 MB in my home directory and list them sorted by size. And there it is. Instantly, I was able to generate a script. I get a perfect ready to run shell script. Let's try another one. Say you forgot a git command. You could maybe say, what's the git command to revert the last commit but keep the changes in my working directory? And boom, git reset soft head 1, that is the correct command. This is vibe coding for system administration, for scripting, for all those little tasks that send you straight to Stack Overflow. It's fast, efficient, and keeps you in the terminal where you're most productive. So, from conversational code gen to one-shot app builders to fully integrated copilots and command line wizards, the world of vibe coding is massive and growing fast. Is it making developers obsolete? Absolutely not. Think of it this way. Calculators didn't make mathematicians obsolete. They allowed them to focus on more complex problems. These AI tools are doing the same. The vibe in vibe coding is still human. It's our intuition, our architectural decisions, and our product vision that guides the AI. The new skill isn't just writing code, it's effectively communicating your intent to an AI to get the results you want. It's a powerful shift, and those who embrace it will be able to build better things faster than ever before. So, what do you think? Have you tried any of these tools? Is vibe coding the future, or are we all just getting lazy? Let me know of your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've learned something new, do me a huge favor and hit the like button. Subscribe for more content on generative AI and development, and ring the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Keep building and keep the vibes high.